Hong Kong is promoted as a glittering world city where East meets West and the skyline never sleeps. But behind the shining towers and Victoria Harbour views lies a reality most tourists never notice. At first glance, the city looks like pure prosperity. Skyscrapers gleam, malls overflow, and neon lights glow across the harbour. But only blocks away from the luxury stores are cramped apartments stacked like cages. For many locals, life happens inside tiny subdivided rooms barely large enough for a bed. These cage homes are one of Hong Kong's hidden scars. The most expensive housing market in the world has forced thousands into spaces smaller than closets. Tourists staying in five-star hotels rarely see this side. But for locals, it's an everyday struggle. The contrast between wealth and poverty is staggering. One of the richest financial hubs on earth is also home to some of the harshest living conditions. Even outside housing, the city feels relentless. Crowds surge through train stations and shopping streets with barely any breathing space. For visitors, the energy can feel electrifying. For residents, it often feels suffocating. Hong Kong is one of the densest places on earth. Privacy is a luxury that few can afford. Public transport is efficient but overwhelming. Rush hour turns the MTR into a crush of bodies where movement feels impossible. The skyline may look futuristic, but the air isn't always clean. Pollution from industry and traffic hangs heavy over the harbour. On some days, the famous view of Victoria Peak is lost in haze. Tourists expecting postcard perfection often feel disappointed. The city's streets tell another hidden story. Trash, overcrowding, and noise dominate the alleys just behind the polished shopping districts. Markets that once reflected local culture now often cater to tourists. Authenticity is fading as commercialization takes over. Food is a highlight of Hong Kong, but even that comes with a cost. Traditional street stalls face rising rents and strict regulations. Each year, more family businesses shut down. They are replaced by chain restaurants and global brands. The loss is not just culinary. It's cultural, erasing part of what made Hong Kong unique. Tourists chasing bargains in night markets are often disappointed. Prices are inflated and goods are frequently counterfeit. Scams are not as blatant as in other Asian cities, but they exist. And they leave visitors feeling cheated. Hong Kong also carries a heavy political atmosphere. Protests, restrictions, and surveillance have changed the city in ways many outsiders don't realize. The sense of freedom that once defined Hong Kong has been quietly eroded. Locals live with tension that most tourists cannot see. Some travelers describe the city as cold. Beneath the efficiency and order, warmth is harder to find. The pace of life adds to the pressure. Work dominates, and stress levels run high. This stress spills into daily life. Locals race from train to office to home, leaving little room for leisure. For tourists, the rush can feel exciting. For residents, it feels like a never-ending grind. Even Hong Kong's natural beauty hides contradictions. Hiking trails and beaches offer escape, but they are often overcrowded. Weekend getaways become battles with crowds. The search for peace often ends in frustration. And yet, the image of perfection remains. Tourists see the lights, but not the cracks beneath them. The ugly side of Hong Kong is not chaos or danger. It is pressure, inequality, and the loss of authenticity. The city dazzles, but it also drains. And once you've looked closer, you can never see it the same way again. Hong Kong nightlife is often sold as legendary, but the reality can be underwhelming. Prices for drinks soar higher than nearly anywhere in Asia, leaving tourists shocked at the cost. The clubs and bars shine with neon, yet they feel more manufactured than authentic. What was once underground culture is now a commercial machine. Tourists expecting gritty charm are met with inflated bills. The raw energy that made the city famous has been replaced by polished packaging. Shopping, another big draw, is not what it used to be. Once famous street markets have been transformed into tourist shows. Bargains are harder to find as rents climb higher. Sellers adjust prices knowing visitors will pay more than locals. Luxury malls dominate districts that once held small businesses. Global brands overshadow the city's unique identity. For many locals, this change feels like a loss. Culture is replaced with consumerism, and the city feels less like itself. Even in the financial hub, cracks appear. Wealth is concentrated at the top, while inequality widens every year. The pressure to succeed is relentless. Many young people struggle with a future they can barely afford. Housing costs are crushing dreams. Couples delay marriage, families delay children, all because apartments are out of reach. Tourists marvel at the skyline but don't see the sacrifices behind it. The city's beauty is built on the exhaustion of its people. Pollution adds another layer of frustration. On bad days, the air is thick with smog drifting in from the mainland. The famous Victoria Harbour views vanish into grey haze. Photos that once defined Hong Kong no longer look the same. Even the harbour itself struggles with waste. Tour boats pass plastic and debris floating in the water. Nature fights for survival against development. Forested hills and coastlines shrink as urban sprawl pushes further out. Locals crave escape but find it harder each year. Beaches and trails fill with people looking for the same relief. This constant pressure creates a sense of restlessness. Many residents dream of leaving but feel trapped by financial realities. Emigration has become a hot topic. Those with means seek opportunities abroad, leaving behind those who cannot. For tourists, this tension is invisible. But if you stay long enough, you feel it in conversations and in the silence. Hong Kong is not unsafe, but it is unrelenting. Its energy pushes you forward whether you want it or not. The very thing that excites visitors is what drains residents. Speed, pressure, and endless demand. And while efficiency impresses outsiders, it leaves little room for breathing space. The city moves too fast to slow down. This makes Hong Kong feel both alive and exhausting. A place you can fall in love with but also want to escape. Even kindness can feel rushed. People are polite, but there is little time to connect. The city teaches survival, not stillness. And that lesson shapes everyone who lives there. The ugly side of Hong Kong isn't about crime or danger. It's about cost, financial, emotional, and cultural. It is the story of a city that dazzles the world while hiding its scars. A city whose beauty is inseparable from its burdens. Travelers leave with breathtaking photos and unforgettable memories. But locals carry the weight of the reality behind those pictures. And that is what no one talks about. The sacrifices beneath the skyline, the struggles behind the shine. Hong Kong will always be iconic. But the more you see, the more you realize perfection is an illusion. It is a city that can inspire and exhaust in the same breath. A place of contradictions, wrapped in neon and shadow. The ugly side doesn't erase its greatness. But it reminds you that greatness always comes at a price. And once you've glimpsed that side of Hong Kong, you'll never see the city the same way again.